Good evening, welcome to News 360. We come to you live from our studios here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. On DSTV, we are live on channel 279. My name is Judith Brown.
And I am Noble Crosby, Annan, and here are the headlines of the stories making rounds this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Coming up tonight, calls for government to target owners of equipment being used for illegal mining to get fight back on track.
Also this evening, State of Ghana Fire Service comes under scrutiny as firefighters struggle to contain outbreak at Idum in the Ashanti region.
Plus, railway company in dire need of support to fight off competition from private vehicles transporting heavy minerals.
And on the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump revokes security clearance for former top government officials.
As a reminder that we're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Do well to like our page, share and drop a comment. Let's start the evening with this. Now, government has announced days for the Eid-ul-Fitr holidays in a statement signed by the Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak. Now, details of the statement is this. The general public is hereby informed that Sunday, 30th March 2025 or Monday, 31st of March 2025 marks Eid-ul-Fitr, which is a statutory public holiday. However, in view of the fact that the 30th March 2025 falls on a Sunday, and in the interest of the public, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana has, by executive instrument, in accordance with Section 2 of the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Act 601, declared Monday, the 31st of March 2025, and Tuesday, the 1st of April 2025 as additional public holidays and should be observed as such throughout the country. That statement was signed by the Minister for Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak.
Now on to our next story. The state of the Ghana National Fire Service has come under heavy scrutiny after fire ravaged the Blue Light Market at Idum in Kumasi in the Ashanti region, raising down hundreds of shops. Now, firefighters are still fighting the monstrous blaze over 24 hours after fire gutted the market. William Evans Ingum is back to the scene and has put together this report.
What is left of once a vibrant market? Ashes, goods gone, properties vanished, fortunes now a history. The story of the Blue Light Market, now written in black, in agony. Dreams dissipated, livelihood uncertain.
Of the shop have items that has too much oil in them, and you see, we are virtually run out of foams that we add to the water to deal with it. So when water is fighting oil, it becomes difficult. That is how come we are about to spend so much time in dealing with particular segments of the fire. But the firemen have been up to their task. The military has been very supportive together with the police, and I'm sure in the next hour or two, we have contained the fire up to that section. And in the next hour or two, we should be able to bring it under an effective control.
Now, let's look at, talk about people who have lost their words and perhaps thinking of resettlement. Is this something that the government is considering in the immediate term as to rebuilding the place for them, or the place will be left empty or vacant for some time?
The regional minister is still gathering data. We are getting briefing from all manner of experts, people who matter as far as city planning and development is concerned. So as at now, we will not be able to say length of time within which we'll be able to restore this place to its original status. But then we haven't slept since yesterday, 6:05 that we got here when the firefighting started. We have been on our ground. Even when the minister leaves the scene, he asked me to be here to monitor the situation and brief him so that if logistically there's something that he has to do, he does it. He has been here on about 3 occasions today. He will be coming back in the next 45 minutes. Whatever that we need, we are getting. Whatever that NADMO needs, they are getting. So the information and the data that they will be able to gather for the regional minister will direct him on how long and what exactly has to be done. But what we can assure the people is that we are not going to leave it to be developed as it was done previously.
And ADO1 Alex Kingnate is a member of the PR department at the Ghana National Fire Service. He's joining us right now with more details on this particular subject. Good evening. It's been over 24 hours since the fire started, and yet the service is yet to completely douse the fire. What exactly is the challenge?
Hi, so thank you very much for having me. As you rightfully know, this market was not segregated. This market housed different commodities, and fighting these kind of fires require different approaches at each point. As we speak, there are some places that deal in oil, some deal in cosmetics, some deal in other combustible materials, and fighting fires involving these things sometimes become quite difficult. But fortunately, we've been able to fight the fire. Access was a big problem for us. Right now, bulldozers are in. We've been able to break down some structures that were hindering our way, and so we are just dealing with pockets of fires. But I can confidently tell you that the fire is out of danger. There's no way the fire can pose any danger as we speak.
Well, last night we had the Ashanti Regional Minister expressing some frustration. He mentioned the fact that the fire tender was empty and not operational for about an hour while they were at the scene last night. Can you clarify really what the problem was as of then?
Well, it's very unfortunate when I wouldn't mince words to say it's very unfortunate when the regional minister pretends that he doesn't know our logistical challenge. And he knows the challenge that we had on the grounds. He had promised that earth-moving equipment since morning. The equipment came in the evening. There was no access to water. Water, with our standard operating procedure, whenever we have to fight fires involving multiple fire tenders, the first fire tender that gets to the scene is called the base pump. The base pump doesn't move from the fire scene. We can't leave the fire scene naked. So if it's even happening at Kantamantu, we leave the base pump there so that when the other tenders replenish, they come and supply the water. The minister himself is very much aware that we had water challenges. Ghana water was not flowing. We had to even rely on water from contractors working to give us water. During, as we waited for the bulldozer, the earth-moving equipment to move these structures away, that is when we're waiting for the water tanker to feed us with water. So for him, he could have easily just approached any of our officers or the commander at the scene and talk to him without having to necessarily put a camera on you to create a spectacle. To what end? Because at Kantamanto, there was no one shouting. We were able to fight the fire. So what was the essence of the shouting with a camera there just to create a scene that you are working when the men who are actually working and putting their life on the line are being demoralized? Who does that? Our officers, one of our officers fell all the way from the top and is at the hospital right now. We don't have any health insurance. We don't have any height allowance. There's no allowances. Firefighters, I can tell you that the firefighter who is injured right now would have to use his own money to take care of his expenses and later file for refund. The president himself acknowledged the efforts of firefighters and came and said thank you. What was the thank you from the honorable minister? No, nothing. He just wanted to criticize our men and then demoralize them. Our men were very highly demoralized. It had to take self-motivation to get them to get back on their feet. So to what end do you have to shout on our men? and behave as if you don't know. This is the same minister who is very much aware of our challenges, and even with our station at the metro, he had promised us that he would be he'll be helping us fix our fire tender at the metro. So now the promise has not been fulfilled. We understand, and he doesn't even have the moral right to behave like this. What has he done for the Ghana National Fire Service? When they are all interested in other sister security services without the fire service, but then we would want to make an excuse and a mockery out of the fire service at the least provocation. To what end? So until they start investing in the fire service, then they can demand more. But to create a spectacle, then who are you playing the gallery to?
Now, Mr. Nete, you have spoken about the issue of the lack of water. Also, you've spoken about the issue of the lack of equipment. It raises questions as well about the location of fire hydrants, because we know that these hydrants are supposed to be at vantage points across the city. Is it the case that they are not available at that area, or the service unable to locate them?
So there are quite a number of issues. So one, some of the traders had encroached on our hydrants. Two, before the fire, a day or two before the fire, Ghana Water was having a routine maintenance done at the area. So everyone in Kumasi would bear witness that water was not even flowing through their pipes. And mind you, when water is not flowing through your pipes, water is not flowing through our hydrants. We have to either travel very far distance or rely on benevolent tankers to help us with water fight the fire. So I said, those are, and then even with logistics, our tender at Konfanochi is out of commission. Our tender at Kumasi Metro is out of commission. If they were in commission, our response time would have even been shorter. This is a tender that the minister had promised to even help us fix as at safe March, and it's not being fixed. And our officers are working with the little logistics, with no protection. Our officers have endured smoke from all these electrical cables and without any, and standing on heights, falling, going to the hospital with nobody assisting them. The least you can do is to say a thank you or to show some diligence when you want some inquiry, but not to deliberately put a camera on you to create a spectacle. To what end? Who are you trying to please? To show that you are working when the actual men who are working and inhaling the smoke are being demoralized.
And lastly, before you go, we've seen these fires at market centers for quite a while. Of course, the one that happened at Kantamanto as well. What role is the fire service also playing to ensure that these market centers are well demarcated so that the case of fire outbreaks like these do not, make them a bit uncomfortable in terms of how they meander their way through the market to even get to the fire in the first place?
So let me use Kantamanto as a case study in this case. Kantamanto, for instance, and even all the markets across Ghana, we have night patrols from night to morning every day at all these various markets so that we're able to identify threats and deal with the threats when they happen. Again, what we've done is that prior to their building, our regional commander here in Accra had engaged them and try to convince them not to put it up, but they will tell you that they have to start working. So what we do is that we normally have most of our officers still patrolling there, even during the day, trying to identify hazards that could come as a result of some of their actions and inactions, so that we're able to deal with it early. So we can't say that there will be no market fires. It is our hope that there won't be any market fires, but it is again our hope that we reduce the spate of market fires.
Many thanks for your time. ADO and Alex Kinerte is a member of the PR unit at the Ghana National Fire Service.
To some other stories, tonight, President John Dramani Mahama has announced plans to allow the Controller and Accountant General's Department to directly pay nursing and teacher trainee allowances. This, he believes, will ensure prompt payment. He's been speaking during his tour of the northern regional capital of Tamale.
If you recall, the previous administration changed the curriculum and yet refused to provide textbooks for our basic school students. Ladies and gentlemen, this no textbook phenomenon will end this year. Your own son, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, is responsible for implementing this. And he has assured us that these textbooks are going to be printed by Ghanaian printers so that the money stays here in Ghana. There's good news for nursing and teacher trainees. Nursing and teacher trainees' allowances are to be paid directly by the Controller and Accountant General. This has been made a part of the compensations item in the budget. This will permanently eliminate the delay in trainees receiving their allowances. This means that anytime public sector workers receive their monthly salaries, teacher and nursing trainees will also receive their allowances.
Now, on to some more stories. Security analyst Colonel Festus Aboagye is alleging that former Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison had mounted surveillance devices enabling him to monitor activities at the central bank. Now, this claim comes days after security operatives had executed a search warrant at the governor's residence. Here's the report.
The home of the former Bank of Ghana governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, was searched by security operatives on Wednesday, March 19. The minority in parliament shortly after spoke on the matter. Leader Alexander Fenyomakin described the search as a raid as he alleged that the operatives stole some valuable items belonging to the former governor.
Mr. Richard Jakpa was at it again. This time, he led armed men to the residence of Dr. Addison, the former governor of the central bank. Some 10,000 cedis on his bed could not be found. So some of these hungry party foot soldiers that they use, who parade themselves as national security operatives, after all, perhaps not even being paid, and they use this opportunity to steal. The governor's wife's earrings and necklaces were also not traced.
However, the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai, defended the actions of the operatives, indicating that they were in accordance with the law.
As much as we can, pursuing persons who are believed or are suspected to have looted, state assets, being money or other properties, we are committed, and work is going on day and night for that to be done. Most importantly, we are also doing so within the framework of rule of law. The Attorney General, he is of the view, his policy is that he will not put anyone before any court without having sufficient evidence to prosecute a person. So those searches and the mode in which they were done in accordance with law. Warrants were procured and warrants were used to conduct those searches.
The reasons for the operation were not known, but on key points today, security analyst Colonel Festus Aboagye, retired, reviewed what he had gathered about the search.
When I got the social media information, checked from a source within national security, that he had wired his place with what they call backdoor electronic devices, wired to the Bank of Ghana, which enabled him to be monitoring what was, in fact, monitoring is a very diplomatic word. This is spying. This is surveillance. And the state has not authorized anybody in the form of a Bank of Ghana or a former Bank of Ghana to mount surveillance on the premises of the Bank of Ghana. So the wires that we saw, the naked wires, were the wires into the device, which again, for political reasons, people have been saying that they were CCTV cameras.
He, however, urged state officials handling the investigation to provide media briefings to avoid unnecessary accusations.
By this moment, all that we are doing is looking at what the Honorable Minority Leader has said. So that method that is being used, feeding information through social media, is not the best way of managing national security. Come out publicly, call the press or the media, brief them, and then the media will disseminate the information. Then Ghanaians will be informed.
Acting CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, Godwin Edugita-Meklo, meanwhile says the minority leader is trying to undermine the work of Richard Jakpa, who is in charge of special operations at the National Security Secretariat.
But you see, when you disrespect other public officers, they have a responsibility to disrespect you in equal manner. Because if you can call Richard Jakpa somebody who is carrying lawful duty, you can criticize how it is done. But at the moment when he entered that premise, he was an operative of the national security. So far, I have not heard Dr. Addison, the former governor, say that when the national security operatives, or even his lawyers, make the point that when they came to his house, they did A, B, C, D. Why?
private legal practitioner Martin Pebu holds the view that searches of such nature should be fair and reasonable.
Jakpa should be the last person to execute a warrant in a manner that should embarrass JM like he's doing. We are building a solid democracy for ourselves. So anytime you have this power to exercise, please be circumspect, be fair and reasonable in how you do it. This modern day, you can't go in there and do a search in a manner that will raise so much reputational damage to the government.
Now, government has been urged to target financiers behind the illegal mining industry. Analysts believe this is the only way the fight can be won.
Illegal mining remains a major issue of concern. Government has since January this year committed to ending the menace through heightened enforcement and the training of river guards. Analysts, however, believe more needs to be done. Kenneth Ashigbe is convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining.
The question I ask myself is that where is the local authority in there? Because you see, excavators are not like mobile phones you put in your pocket and you smuggle in anywhere. Excavators, these are heavy equipment, they don't move fast. You can see in the video I'm telling you. So these are forests, very high trees, but you can see the top of the excavators. So what I would urge our local authorities is the fact that they on the ground should be supporting. It is the reason why for us, the state of emergency in the forest, on the water bodies are still important.
Legal practitioner Martin Pebu says police commanders in mining areas must be reshuffled.
Especially, you see, the name one is one that I've monitored on a number of stations. People, journalists keep complaining that about 300 meters away in plain sight from the police station, there's Galamsey ongoing, right? And yet the commander is still there. No, I support the call that he should go. And the other, there should be a reshuffle. You see, when you reshuffle them, one, there is a chance you will get somebody, a new commander who has zero tolerance for Galamsey, okay? And then two, even if you don't get such a commander, when you send a new person, you know, the way crime is usually committed, when the new one comes, even if he's minded to aid in the Galamsey activities, he will need some time to adjust, you know, to watch his mirrors, to see how to operate. So in that context, because you need that time, at least it will bring some, what do you call it, lull. It will bring some ceasefire.
Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak has meanwhile directed the IGP to ensure that persons who own equipment used for such activities are arrested.
I've since written to the IGP that henceforth, any equipment that we find either in our forest or Galamsey site, the chassis number of that vehicle or that equipment be forwarded immediately to us, and then we'll get the owner. The foreigners that we find in those forests, since I became the Minister of Interior, we have returned well over 107 citizens of other countries that we have found in fraud and in Galamsey activities. Any foreigner that we find in our forests, immediately call your colleague from the immigration for them to pick them, because we have decided that any foreigner that we find in our forest or involved in any fraud, our first option is to repatriate them back into their country.
The IGP has meanwhile committed to making the fight against Galamsey a key priority.
Away from illegal mining, a group of students from the University of Mines and Technology, UMAT, have come up with solutions they believe could enable heavily polluted water bodies in the western region to be treated. This follows intense analysis of the once clean Bonsa River, which serves as the primary water source for Takwa and surrounding communities. Rama Smith has more.
Once upon a time, Ghana's major rivers and streams were pristine, allowing individuals to fetch and drink from them without a second thought. However, the situation took a drastic turn with the arrival and the introduction of some fan machines, which have been used to mine in our water bodies, causing devastating pollution and destruction. The Bonsa River was a pristine water source that supplied the local water treatment plant. With an installed capacity of approximately 1 million gallons per day, The plant produced an average of around 750,000 gallons daily, serving Takwa Township and surrounding areas. Tragically, the story of the once pristine Bonsa River has taken a devastating turn. The rampant illegal mining upstream and along its banks has forced the Ghana Water Company to shut down the treatment plant as it struggles to extract water suitable for treatment. It's against this alarming backdrop that the University of Mines and Technology UMAT challenged students from the Environmental and Safety Engineering, Geological, and Railway Infrastructure Development departments to come up with innovative solutions for treating the heavily polluted Bonsa River. After a rigorous competition, the Geological Department's research and presentation emerged as the winning entry, proposing effective measures to restore the river to its former glory.
Our team, Geological Engineering, who won the competition, we suggested that first of all, there should be some form of dredging, because as a result of the illegal mining activity, there's a lot of silt, which has reduced the channels and then also lead to the increase in the turbidity. And so this has even rendered the water treatment, the Bonsa water treatment plant, also not able to treat the water. We are also going to have some form of phytoremediation, and then also some filtering using activated carbon, and then also moringa seeds that we know. We are also going to treat it, and then we are going to use it as a natural filtration mechanism.
To mark the World Water Day, a senior lecturer at UMAT, Professor Anthony Ewusi, drew attention to the diminishing water sources for Ghana Water, leading to increased pressure on underground water. He urged large-scale mining companies, particularly goldfields, to release the abandoned underground mines, as according to him, treating water from these mines would be cost-effective and help alleviate the 30% water deficit in the Takwa area.
Some years back, Professor J.S.Y. Kumar, Professor Boa, and then Mr. Obosu, what you work to be there. The abandoned goldfields underground mine. In Subumpa, so I inquired in Supa, in Subi Basura, and Sumu, a bit back road room. Then what time is yet testing fair? You know, can I say? You can eat easy crowd, you spend this KBR. And in so it can take care of about 30% of the needs of water in Takwa.
As we mark World Water Day under the theme Glacier Preservation, a critical question arises. Will the introduction of the Blue River Guards and Tree for Life restoration initiatives by the current administration be the catalyst Ghana needs to restore its polluted water bodies and ensure a more sustainable future? Erama Smith, TV3 News, UMAT, Takwa.
Well, still on World Water Day, we take you to Culinary in the Tamale metropolis of the northern region, where school children and residents have to rely on a highly polluted water to meet their water demands. My colleague Christopher Marco has more in this report.
The Greater Tamale metropolis has over the past decades been battling with a severe water crisis that has significantly disrupted economic activities, forcing residents to rely on unwholesome sources of water, such as dams and other dugouts.
It appears the water crisis in the Greater Tamale metropolis is taking a severe turn this time round in some communities. In fact, if you look at this particular dam, it serves some 3-4 communities in the Tamale metropolis, and as can be seen, the water level has drastically reduced because of the pressure on this particular dam. We are here today and we have come across these school children who have come here to drink from the dam. Wulaka kana kwetunyu kwamwo.
Tiyo taka kwam. Tumikamu ati si breakten kantun kwam.
But kwama bvela kenyu dorobu baga.
Pompi biyora timika wanda timika mua na ala kwamu konko katinura.
Okay, so basically what this boy is saying is that this is the only source of drinking water for the community, and so when they go to school and they go out for break, they will have to rush to this dam to drink water before going back to their classrooms.
A resident of Sanzirgu, Adishetu Al-Hassan, relies on alum to purify the dam water before she could use it to cook for the family.
Ma atoro koma kana kwamngo bevela
the paralo kwama tonkan bar nam zakane teacher na eto free nto mpaile na bayar no ka te kwengmar na te paralo ma ka te voter lo ya do no me be le te famon te ka empty.
The water is beginning to settle because of the alum that she added to the water. The turbidity level is beginning to reduce, and as can be seen, the dirty aspect of it, the sandy aspect of it, is beginning to settle, to go down.
Measure the turbidity of the water. It should fall below 5 NTU. That is the unit of measurement. But often than not, what we realize is that water that we test at our laboratory are above these limits, making it unsafe to drink. As people, especially within the Tamale metropolis here, we should be concerned about it, because how can we have water but it is not safe for us to drink?
Like Adishetu, hundreds of women and children in Sanzirgu rely on the dam for their daily water supply. Northern Regional Minister Ali Adolf, while expressing concern over the water crisis in Tamale, assured residents that the Tamale water crisis will be addressed.
Yes, it will not be long, but I can assure you that the Tamale water issue will become history very soon. It won't be long.
Residents of Tamale recently threatened to embark on a demonstration against the management of the Ghana Water Company Limited due to the worsening water crisis in the regional capital.
As the hope and belief of residents in the greater Tamale metropolis that something will be done about their water situation. Until then, they will have to continue to bear the brunt of drinking from unwholesome sources of water, which poses some health threats to them. Christopher Marco, TV3 News, San Diego.
Now, the escalating trend of Tramadol abuse, popularly known as RED, is rapidly destroying a section of Ghana's youth. If left unchecked, this crisis could weaken the country's youth base, which is the active labor force driving national development. Belinda Teta reports from the Bono East regional capital, shedding light on the devastating impact of opioid use and abuse among the youth in Ghana.
Red, adekoko, unim red.
Unim red. To wheat. Do you know red? The latest most commonly used phrase on the streets, at the marketplaces, and even in offices. Then comes the question, what is red? Red, the latest Tramadol craze, is meant to be a synthetic opioid pain reliever for managing moderate to severe pain. However, its abuse has spiraled into an epidemic, fueling addiction, overdoses, and dire consequences. Kofi, popularly known as Ajinkwa, is a habitual opioid abuser. On multiple occasions, he has attempted to quit, yet the overwhelming urge drags him back into the depths of addiction.
Yeah, I try to stop, but I can't. Yeah, I can. You know, I've taken it for years now, so I'm addicted to it. That I take it for hard work. Anytime I work, I feel like taking it. When I work, I'm gonna get tired quickly, as soon as possible.
There are different types of opioids, but Tramadol, referred to as RED, is the most commonly abused because it's cheaper and easier to access than other opioids. But why the obsession with RED? And what are the consequences of its abuse?
Because of this drug you're talking of, we're not growing fat. We're not growing tall. We just remaining as we are. And that's very, very bad. I tell you, my Nick, say no to drug abuse.
Tramadol was originally used to manage pain when other medications like paracetamol and NSAIDs were ineffective or unsuitable for patients. However, long-term abuse leads to alarming effects, organ damage, severe mental health issues, and crippling addiction. Psychiatrist Ebenezer Jesse from Nkranza St. Teresa's Hospital explains further.
Mainly get heart attack. Apart from being heart attack, they can get stroke. Yeah. When psychosis also sets in, they become mental health clients. You can get kidney failure. Even the paracetamol and metronidazole you've been taking, when you take it consistently without any reason, your kidney can be failed. Your liver, you can also get liver cirrhosis and stars. And sometimes you could see people be getting edema feet. You could see a young guy at the age of 20s, and then the person is growing old, but the person is not old. You become addicted to the drug. You see, addiction is not easy to withdraw from it.
The abuse of red is a growing concern that demands urgent intervention. Communities, parents, educators, and policymakers must come together to tackle the menace. Belinda Tete, TV3 News, Bono East Region.
You're still watching News 360. We go for our very first break. We'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now, Managing Director of the Ghana Railway Company Limited, Engineer Dr. Michael J. Anyete, has sounded an alarm that the railway sector will collapse if the government fails to support a proposed new agreement with the Ghana Manganese Company. Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson, who is on a familiarization visit, was, however, assuring that government has an action plan to revive the repositioning of the company.
Established in 1896, the railway company's primary purpose was to haul commodities like cocoa, timber, manganese, bauxite, among others. But its fortunes changed when it lost its commodities to railroad competitors. The rail line from Awasu to Takoradi ceased operations due to deteriorated infrastructure along its operational zones. According to the Managing Director, Engineer Dr. Michael J. Anyete, the tracks became so dilapidated that they had to stop using them. In a bid to revive its activities, Ghana Railway Company Limited has an agreement plan to collaborate closely with Ghana Manganese Company with the expectation that it will boost revenue generation. According to Engineer Dr. Michael J. Anyete, the company is eager to secure government backing for this initiative as it is crucial for sustaining Ghana Railway Company Limited and enhancing rail operations in the country.
Honorable, we had an agreement from GMC. GMC is Ghana Manganese Company. They made some proposals. They gave it to us we also did a counter proposal. This proposal, I've been assured, it's gone to the minister and it has gone to the president. Honorable, please follow up for us. Follow up for us. I'm begging you in the name of God, through Jesus Christ. I'm begging you. Because if you don't do that, this company will collapse. Will collapse. We on our own, we can do it. Can we do it? No, sir. We can do it. We can do it. So, Honorable, I know what you can do. I'm pleading with you. Please help GRC here.
The company is facing another challenge: unpaid salaries. For over 6 months, government has failed to pay the workers. At the entrance of the company are plastered desperate pleas from the workers. We need investors to come to our aid. Government, please help us. We are hungry and 6 months without salary. Dr. Anyete appealed to the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson during familiarization meetings on Thursday to intervene.
As I speak with you, Honorable, I know you may have heard for some time now, exactly 6 months, am I right? The railway worker has not received salary. And Honorable Minister, I am not going to blame this government. What we are seeing now is a cumulative effect. When I say cumulative effect, I know we will understand. It didn't start from this government.
Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has meanwhile assured the workers that government has an action plan to revive and reposition the company.
Let me encourage you to continue to stay on course. Government will look at these issues effectively, with a vision to get railways back on its feet. Really, a policy that will turn railways around is what we are all looking out for. And that, I must assure you that His Excellency is committed to doing that. You've heard about the 10 billion infrastructure, but the big push. Railways is part of it. And so let's pray. The assurance is that the President is committed to resolving your issues.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Takrady.
Well, tonight on our Ghana Man series, we take you to the Ketu South municipality, where victims of the recurring tidal waves distractions in communities along the coast have found a unique way of healing themselves from the pains of their losses using traditional music and dance. TV3's Faisal Abdul-Idrisu, who has been in the area since the recent disaster, has been chronicling what has become a regular evening activity and came through with this report.
On the faces of these women are smiles, but deep down their hearts are sharp pains caused them by the distractions from the sea. For years, they watch helplessly as the sea takes away their homes and other properties, leaving them homeless and hopeless. The sight of these broken walls bring them painful memories. But in the face of these adversities, they have found peace. Peace from within. We've lost everything to the sea, including properties our parents left for us. We are so depressed, but for God, some of us would have died. We have found a better way to keep ourselves alive. We gather, sing, and entertain ourselves. We do this for some time before we go to bed, and we sleep so well. Almost every evening, they gather here, and with the help of a few men, they sing and dance away their pain.
Even though these women are traumatized, they often gather here to sing and to make themselves happy, after which they go to their various sleeping places and sleep. These women have lost virtually everything, so they don't have a place to sleep. And as assembly member, I oftentimes join them to participate in the activities, after which we all disperse.
Though we lost everything, we still have not forgotten our God. We always show gratitude. Moments like this makes me happy. I tend to forget my pain and difficulties. Joining the group gives me comfort when I get home. Like the old palm tree, which they say produces the sweetest wine, the twins from these old women are the sweetest to the ears and heart, even in the most difficult moments. The songs we sing are part of very old tradition, but our youth are no longer willing to learn. It is worrying. Even if it is a funeral, they will not join us to sing, so they learn. For days and moments like this, people pass so quickly these days, so they have to join us and learn these valuable traditions.
From within, these women have found a better way to keep themselves alive. What they do here every evening is to create a sense of togetherness and a stronger bond among themselves, even in these difficult times. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News, Salakope, Amutinu.
You're watching News 360 live from our studios here, number 35, John Hammond Street in Accra. Going for a break. Sports News is up next.
again, so for them it's much easier. But to be fair, also their game on Wednesday, I think it was very tough for them because some of their players played on Sunday and then played on Wednesdays. Very tough schedule. I don't know who's doing the schedule, but to be honest, also in the past, sometimes I really don't understand why, for example, we can't play on Tuesday. This one day will give us so much more, especially with the 5-hour flight to Morocco. So yeah, but there's nothing we can do. We have to accept it. Like I said, it will be very tough. They have a really good team, and surely we are also analyzing the last game. They had a big victory against Comoros 4-1, and like I said, it's going to be very tough for us.
With the Ghana Premier League action set to continue on Sunday, we place the spotlight on Nations FC's biggest goal contributor, Faisal Chawote. My colleague Mutala Yakubu tells us the story of his rise from the lower division to the Ghana Premier League.
On the best of touch. That's Chawote!
The transition from Division 1 to the Premier League can be challenging, with many players struggling to adapt. However, for Faisal Chawote, the move from a Division 1 side to Premier League club Nations FC has been a different story. The young striker embraced the challenge with confidence, and his optimism has paid off. After scoring 13 goals in 28 matches for Akachi All-Stars, he caught the attention of Nations FC, who outbid several top clubs to secure his signature. In a league where goals have been hard to come by in recent years, Chawote has managed an impressive 10 goals in 20 games, a solid return. He currently shares the same goal tally as Stephen Amankona, who finished as the GPL's top scorer in the 2023-24 season with 19 goals. Reflecting on his journey so far, the young forward remains determined and believes there's more to come.
Yeah, it's been good for me to play the Premier course. Looking at where I started from, well, it was been good for me to join the Premier League. Yeah. Well, the same football, but the Premier is a little bit difficult than this one. Yeah. My target is to help the team to do and where we are doing well, then trying our best to be at the top. Yeah. We are still working on it. Yeah, and when it comes for me to take, why not? So still, there are more matches ahead of us, and we are working on it. I'll go for winning the league, because looking at my first season in the Premiership and winning the league, I think it's a blast for me. It's my dream to play in Europe properly, so that I'll play in one of the best teams in Europe.
With 12 games remaining in the 2024-25 season, the informed striker hopes his performances will help Nations FC push for the ultimate prize.
That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishet.
Up next is international news.
U.S. President Donald Trump revoked security clearances from his previously defeated Democratic election rivals, Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, as well as a number of other former officials and critics. Trump said in February he was revoking security clearance for his predecessor Joe Biden. His order confirmed that decision, adding that he was also revoking the security clearance of any other member of the Biden family. Former U.S. president and top security officials usually keep their security clearance as a courtesy. Trump ordered department and agency leaders to revoke unescorted access to secure United States government facilities for these individuals. 3 people were killed and 14 others injured in a mass shooting on Friday in the U.S. state of New Mexico, according to local authorities. The shooting took place at the park in the city of Las Cruces. Police had not made any arrests as of Saturday morning, but were actively following multiple leads. In a public call for witnesses and video, the department said the shooting took place at a car meetup and concluded with multiple gunshots fired and several individuals being struck. 2
Let's bring you some entertainment news now. The highly anticipated 3FM Gobe Festival lived up to expectations as hundreds of people gathered at the Legon City Mall to savor one of Ghana's cherished delicacies, beans and plantain, popularly known as Gobe. Attendees noted that the event has now become an annual celebration, playing a significant role in promoting and celebrating Ghana's rich culinary tourism.
This was a vibrant atmosphere at the Legon City Mall, the exciting venue for the 3FM Gobe Fest. At the Gobe stands, hundreds of people eagerly waited in long queues just to be served their beloved dish.
Sure you get some Gobe?
Oh yeah, I'll get some. I'm very positive about it.
I see. But how long have you been here and how the experience has been for you?
Oh, I've been here for about an hour. It's been an interesting experience so far.
Even now we drop, so as we come in there, Charlie, we can find some chop before you go find some drinks, bit and tail, and take sorts.
But the traffic there,
The beans and plantain, combined with other flavorful additions, were served hot and fresh.
Excellent. I wish this would be organized more, and then at least this will release stress from families, you know. It serves more or less like a family hangout. That's our favorite meal. So when we heard that this is a program of itself is organized, in addition to this particular meal, we saw it to be the best time to come around and enjoy ourselves. Today, for the first time, we've added at least the avocado to it, and it is one of the greatest delicacies I've ever tasted.
Powered by your urban lifestyle radio station 3FM 92.7, this to attend event offered patrons the opportunity to indulge in one of Ghana's most cherished delicacies, Gobe, beans and plantain. The food festival has not only united foodies around this staple dish we all love, but also played a significant role in promoting and celebrating Ghana's rich culinary history.
It's ingenious, honestly, because food is something that can bring people together better than sports, better than music. One thing that we as humans can just enjoy together is food. You cannot deny the fact that you need food to survive. And it's something that Ghanaians as a culture, as a whole, we have embraced. Gobe is life. Gobe is life.
In all the much anticipated food event, 3FM Gobe Fest lived up to expectation.
Outstanding. I mean, it's what, almost 2 p.m. and we have an overflow of people, and we're going all the way till 10 p.m. So you can imagine, already some people are in very, very comfortable points, and I'm excited to see how it's all going to pan out. But people are having a great time. It's an improvement of last year's experience. Extraordinary. I mean, from the games to the music to the excitement to the food, it's been extraordinary, and we're so thankful that Ghanaians love and appreciate the Gobe Festival, and we can't wait for more editions, even more exciting ones to come.
From the delicious aromas to the vibrant crowd, 3FM Gobe Fest showcased the very best of Ghanaian cuisine, bringing together food lovers from all walks of life. With each combination, Gobe tells the story of Ghana's culinary heritage. Events like these are a testament to the growing appreciation of our food culture.
Look, there's still a lot of fun happening at the Legon City Mall. It's all part of the 3FM Gobe Festival. Find your way there or make your way there if you can. But that's how I wrap up on the evening news here on 3FM 92.7 on TV3 News 360. My name is Noble Crosby Annan.
And I am Judith Brown. A pleasure coming to you always. Of course, make your way to the Legon City Mall for Gobe Festival. Have a good night.
Great new design, fit right, reducing friction.
It absorbs all liquid to prevent leakage. This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Yanko nam fa kosi ade na ede aye dabro so yanko hey wen su ya nombo wen hu so bolu aya nom abopen me de be tin na menya kwan yanko
ozi wana
unim na atehwi a meja ho mi do nya me se mi ntimi mpejaw
na mu fi ade
we so tutu na ye sa akwala ketwa no Jinaye, Ajay, that's it, oh. Mama mesun kwasi esun ntise. Ubenum so bolu afa ho adi. Kama ji me papa. Bati wani na mawie. Kakre ya kura wa ho aba na woda wo. Ka se me ni nyansa. E kura me ni fie me dwane. Kesi bi esi ana me ne ya. E me nya so bolu.
Nurse. Doc. Papa na ndra ana se ne nansa wode ne bae no. Ne wote den.
Oh doc, ne wo ye me de ne ndro nya ma.
Montari. Da bia me ka montari ho asem.
Ma pon wa sen ko mbese same. No mo mbae.
Abigail wa ma.
Na nya emergency.
Na dey asem bi. The pacho. Yeah, see my wife. Abotre. Nyabotere. Twen to we ase. To we ase wa ba beto ya wa. Bibia ni abotere.
Doc, am so di America.
Na